The youth of a nation without a shred of doubt are the trustees of posterity, and governments mindful of this fact have over the years tried to invest in the welfare of the youth using the resources available. Ghana is blessed with many natural resources, with cocoa and gold leading the chart. Proceeds from these resources are expected to be channeled towards the development of the country, particularly the communities where these resources are dug or harvested. The least expected in a mining community is the availability of basic social amenities like health facilities, standard school blocks, good roads, places of convenience, and the list goes on. But the condition of mining towns and communities in Ghana, the second leading producer of gold, is rather the opposite. Considerable number of Ghana's gold exported for foreign trade comes from the eastern region of the country. The irony, though, is that the abundance of gold in this region does not reflect the living conditions of the people, and the children are bearing the brunt. They are trading education for quick cash. They are the children of the pits. The ride to Ekosso in the Etiwa districts of the eastern region is a bumpy one. The road is in a bad shape. Tons of dust fill the air as we move on the road, riddled with potholes. The Ekosso town literally sits on gold, but sadly, like many other mining communities in Ghana, there is widespread poverty in this town, and the nearby communities where small-scale mining has become the source of livelihood for many. But the locals are not the only ones engaged in this business. Scores of foreigners have stormed these parts of the eastern region of Ghana in search of the precious stone, gold. The result is that most farmlands have been taken. A few farmers in this community say their livelihoods are being threatened by rich mining contractors who use heavy-duty machines to extract gold. Mr. Jangba is one such farmer whose cocoa farm has been forcibly claimed by Galamsey operators whose operation is spreading like wildfire.
I used to cultivate tens of acres of cocoa farm prior to the indiscriminate mining activity. Now I've lost my entire cocoa farms all because of these operations of the mining companies who are fast damaging our lands and water bodies. I can swear to you that the mining business, as far as I am concerned, has not benefited the people.
Farmers have no option but to sell off their cocoa farms and palm plantations to these miners. Mr. Tay settled in the Ekosso village in the year 2000 and has since been in the cocoa farming business. Prior to the indiscriminate mining, the entire community depended on the Brem River as our source of potable water, and our cocoa farms gave us good yields. Life was good, Mr. Tai tells me. But after enjoying life for 15 years, he's singing a different tune today.
The
challenge is that after operations,
The miners leave the pits uncovered, and that contributes to the extensive damage being caused to the land and our only source of water. The whole place gets flooded whenever it rains, and it's all because of the activities of the Galamsey operators.
Na se mo na mo de asase na ma
asase no ye pamucha ye tumi no ye asase no ye yani asase no omu se ani na ye wo so tumi na asase no de omu ba omu ko hu kromfo ahimfo num nti omu di ma wo mo a ye ni si tumi bia eja yusu ni ska udu ba ko tuma so court.
To be honest with you, the activities are threatening our livelihoods.
They say the ye ha de ekoso eni yeti nti omu no mu di ma wo nti omu di ma wo yesu ye ni timi bia nti afi ye wo ho a no mu de no be se be be di kra e boy yen ene ya mi kasa kra ebinum eguha we ba o se mi beji ha we ba o se mi betuwa be di kra se ebe afi ba ko be di kra ye ni be di.
We have tried to chase them out of the community, but they always threaten us, and with that, we have no option but to accept the offers they make to us. We want government to intervene.
Onya ko dik consensus nu de ye pel abadi amano betu asemo mu ka kire nu ni iti ye be sese se nye sane branu di aban omoye na ye hu kire wa.
The situation is deepening the levels of poverty in these communities blessed with Ghana's leading export commodities, cocoa and gold. Many children are dropping out of school at Ekoso because parents are unable to earn enough to send their children to school. Children as young as 12 skip school to engage in illegal mining in Ekoso. Yusuf, Michael, and Augustina are but a few of the school children who skip school to engage in the illegality, a practice they call koli koli. Many have died at the many mine sites in this area, particularly sites with pits left uncovered. But these young ones blatantly defy the enormous dangers they are exposed to and do their own kind of mining using old-fashioned equipment. So why are these young ones in the industry? 16-year-old Yusuf has been in the Koli Koli business for over a year and leads a gang of young boys and girls at Ekoso to find gold. Earning an average of 50 Ghana cedis a day, he can't resist the temptation of going deep down into the pit for the precious metal. There is really a bad day at the mine site. Today is no exception, as the gang leader together with his team discovers gold dust, what they call black.
Just look at what we have. We've been digging and washing since morning, but with little to show. It has even demoralized my counterparts. You see, the zeal of digging has even died down.
Affecting your studies, at school?
Yes, the mine sites have negatively affected my academic performance. Since I started here, there has been a dip in my performance. I used to rank shoulders with the best in my class, but now I almost always make the poorest grades in my class.
15-year-old Michael has been attracted into the industry. Like his other colleagues, Michael has been jumping into the pit in recent days in search of gold. He skips school not less than 2 times in a week to find gold in the pits. He has the blessing of his mother, who watches on as he gathers his equipment on a daily basis to get on with business. Michael has also worked his way through the mill and has earned for himself the accolade of gang leader. At 15, he is already playing the role of a breadwinner. Koli Koli is not the preserve of only the boys. The venture may be dangerous, but that doesn't scare 15-year-old Augustina, the only girl in the group, from frequenting the mine site to help her male counterparts in the pits.
Honestly speaking, my academic performance has seen a dip, and it's all because I have little time for my books now. I used to come second in my class, but now my performance is nowhere near that. I do not entertain any fears here. I know the dangers involved in doing this.
12-year-old Apietu is the latest to join the club. He quit school about 2 weeks ago. After a couple of attempts at the mine site, young Apietu is convinced the Koli Koli business pays.
Maybe I'm called 500, 400.
On average, I make an amount of 50 Ghana cedis. But on a bad day, I make 20 Ghana cedis. I give the money I make to my mother and grandmother, which they use to buy food items for the house.
Have you saved the proceeds from the mining business?
I also keep the rest, and that is what I use to take care of my needs.
Who introduced you to the mining business?
I was introduced into the galamsey business by my friends.
Apietu's decision to quit school for the Koli Koli business may have been inspired by this young man. Ajenim Boateng, the 19-year-old, has dropped out of school and is now one of the leaders at the mine site. He dropped out in his final year at the junior high school after a couple of attempts in the pits for the precious metal.
That time I'm going to school, I saw my post going to my galamsey work, and when they come to house, they get more money, and I stopped the school to add them to go there. Galamsey work. At time now, my teacher tell me I should come to school, but I wasn't fear them.
To the Kipchino France.
Inti tama mo force me middle school na yese me di o ma chia ko galamsey ma menye sika ka clentin me kwa menye sika inti do tama.
Growing up, I had the ambition of becoming a teacher, but the lucrative nature of the galamsey business made me drop out of school when I was in GSS2.
These young miners are risking everything to extract the precious metal. Mercury is said to be a very toxic chemical. Part of the reason mercury is extremely poisonous is because it can enter the body through inhalation, ingestion, or skin absorption. In 1956, the poisonous substance was released in the industrial wastewater from the Chiso Corporation's chemical factory in Japan, which continued from 1932 to 1968. This highly toxic chemical bioaccumulated in shellfish and fish in Minamata Bay and the Shiranui Sea, which when eaten by the local populace resulted in mercury poisoning, while cat, dog, pig and human deaths continued for 36 years. It's a bad stuff and is simply best avoided. However, these children are simply audacious or ignorant of the dangers of mercury and the damage the chemical could cause to their system. This is why after risking their lives at the many uncovered pits at the mine sites, these daring children yet again endanger their lives by using mercury to solidify the gold dust. They will not miss the process for anything because they are suspicious of each other. Business may be booming today for these innocent young ones who are cashing in on the illegal mining business, but the future seems very bleak. Felix tells me how skipping school has adversely affected the academic performance of the students.
The mining whole business, one would say is a blessing, but we would say it's a blessing in disguise because it has really caused some damages to the people. You know, there are some of the students who were very good in class, but because of these mining activities, their performance have come down. There is one particular guy, he was very good, fluent in English, but now because of the activities, because anytime they are in the school, their minds will be on closing early and then getting their head pounds and then going there because they get money there. They get money, I tell you. A student can come to school with an amount of, say, 50 CDs, or for him just one day. When they go there just for a day, they can get this money. So, you know, children too, because they want to buy this, buy that, they will put their books aside and they will be concentrating on that.
Vulnerable girls are lured into sexual promiscuity. Girls like Millicent, Precious, and Mercy have a more difficult situation because their parents have either been coerced to sell off their cocoa farms to these miners who continue to expand their territories by the day. The consequence is child prostitution, which according to this junior high school teacher is on the increase.
The young girls too have or were also victims to teenage pregnancy. Yes, because the guys who were doing their work will come, buy anything that they want for them, and they were not also respecting their parents. Here too, because of low economic standard, there was this kind of cohabitating. You likely find out one guy sleeping with one girl in the same room. Their parents will not say anything because they can't provide the basic needs for these children. So most of the girls got pregnant or have been pregnant because of these gold or mining activities.
I came across a number of girls whose education has been shattered by these miners.
Me just school of Form 1.
Millicent is 18. Growing up, she had the ambition of becoming a police officer. That dream has, however, been dashed. She recounts how she fell for the sweet-talking miners.
Me mama and papa will me go school. Me kwa me mama nua na so oni sika ode be mama atadua
I am an orphan and used to stay with my aunt who couldn't sponsor my education. My state at that time coincided with the coming of the miners, and after some months of sexual relationship, I got pregnant.
Precious has similar experiences, but in her case, the miner who impregnated her fled the town when he realized she was pregnant. Now single teenage mothers, Mercy and Precious have not only changed their childhood ambitions, they've downgraded it.
My parents could not sponsor my education because the only cocoa farm my father had was destroyed by the illegal miners. As a result, I gave in to the sexual demands by one of the miners, who in return paid my fees for a while.
After school,
I had the ambition of becoming a nurse, but my parents couldn't sponsor my education. One of the miners promised to sponsor my education and asked I gave in to his sexual demands, which I did. Unfortunately for me, the miner fled the town after making me pregnant. Now, the ambition to become a nurse has been dashed. What I want now is for someone to help me learn the art of sewing and become a seamstress someday.
The worrying trend of teenage pregnancy and school dropout increases by the day in this small village and other adjacent mining communities like Asamama and Abomosu. The future of this community is uncertain as these young ones abandon school to look for quick cash. The Chief Executive Officer of the Tiwa District Assembly tells me he has had sleepless nights over the problem. But in a rather helpless tone, Mr. Tachum tells me the Assembly has no powers to crack the whip on the illegality.
It's not just one institution or one-man show. It's a multifaceted problem, and we have different stakeholders. If somebody is doing something illegal, the Assembly hasn't got arresting powers, have we? We need to work with the police. We need to work with the powers that issue the license. We want to work with the institutions that set the rules, like EPA and all that. So when we realize that the miner is not doing the right thing, we notify these people. So Assembly cannot crack the whip on its own. In fact, in the scheme of things, I would say the Assembly is just a passive participant. Maybe if I take you through the processes of getting a miner to work in a district like ours, all that we do, you will receive documents from the Minerals Commission asking you to publish some information at the community that has been indicated on the document. Say Ekoso, that's where you've been. It means the miner is going to work within the area of Ekoso, but that will be the community that will be indicated on the site plan. Okay, so you will send a notice, something like this, in the community to a notice board. It will be also publicized here at the Assembly for 21 days. If there is no objection, after 21 days, you issue a document just as simple as this, that after 21 days, there's no objection to Minerals Commission at Akimoda, Takoradi, the district. And the miner will follow up to the Minerals Commission and secure his or her concession.
They may be children, but Yusuf and his friends are not living the lives of minors. At ages 14 and 15, one would expect these young ones to be helping their parents or be behind a desk studying after school. Sadly though, what happens here at night is in sharp contrast. As the sun sets on the Ekoso township, these children gather here at Antioquia, a popular joint in Ekoso, where they spend the gains made from the day's work.